Hello, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and welcome to Employees Benefits from an HR perspective. This would be either Chapter 13 or Section 13, depending if you're taking me an online class, a face-to-face class, or a hybrid class, or in one of my workshops. Let's go forward. Employee benefits. Employee benefits are important not only to the organization but to the employees. From the employee's perspective, is what keeps an employee staying employed at your organization or your service that you're providing. And then the second thing, it also helps retain the good employees. It's a reward, as we were doing from previous sections, as an incentive, as a reward for why employees would want to work for the company. Usually I would want the employee to work for the company because he or she has something to contribute. You're not always looking for employees that come to work for me as an organization when I'm interviewing them, and the first thing that comes out of their mouth is what kind of benefits. And I may ask them a question: why would you like to work for an organization or GAM Consulting? And they may say, oh, you got excellent benefits, you've got this. That's not what I want to hear. What I want to hear from an HR perspective when I'm getting potential employees, candidates that want to work for me, I want to work for you because you're an innovator, you're flexible. My skill sets or my training, my discipline, there's a match between your organization and my skills that I have, either skills or abilities, and I want to grow with the organization. That's what I want to hear. That's the front part. That's why they're working for me. Now, aside from that, what the employee wants to also understand is, I am working for you, I am learning, I am contributing back to the organization, but what do I get in return? And what they get in return are certain benefits that I will be providing to them. And those benefits also, once I get that right, a good employee, is what motivates them to stay within my organization. Benefits that we've learned from other previous chapters are hygiene factors. They don't, a lot of times may not, for lack of better words, motivate the employee, but it gives them that sense of security. It gives them that, helps them in their own personal life to achieve a standard of living that they're looking for. So let's go over a quick overview. Now, you've already been supplied with my concept maps if you're taking me for any of the classes, the paid classes, either at a college or in my workshops. So let's see what our overview is. Okay, we're going to talk about basic benefits. And I'm going to try to keep this under 20 minutes. I've been running kind of late for last sessions, a little bit longer. I'll keep this under 20 minutes. So let me just make this just a little bit bigger so we can see what's 300. Oh, perfect. Now you could, hopefully this will work out for. Importance of benefits as part of employee compensation. Most common forms of paid leave, and we talked about that in, for lack of a better word, pay structures and incentives. Types of employee benefits required by law. Some benefits I have to. Right now, the benefit required if I'm over 50, and we'll explain that a little bit later. If I'm over 50, not over 850, I have over 50 employees, I'm required by the Affordable Care Act, or what most people would call Obamacare, but it's basically the Affordable Care Act, that I have to supply a certain, pay for a certain portion of the employee's health care. Now remember, the health care has something to do with dental or eye vision. It's basically just for the medical portion. Types of insurance or benefits offered by employees, and this is kind of changed a little bit, and we're still going through a evolution process with the Affordable Health Care Act. Types of retirement. I work for so long. Do I give them a 401, or do I have, if I'm a larger organization, do I give them a standard type of pension plan? Most companies are going more for the 401. It's easier because a lot of employees will stay with my organization for a long time. Others are basically, they'll stay there for 5-10 years and they'll move on. And they may move on because they're expanding, and my organization is not expanding quick enough for them. They're looking for promotional abilities, or they may be leaving because I'm expanding and they don't have the skill sets that I need. So with a 401, it's like I take my retirement package to other facility. I don't have to maintain it. It's when we get into the 401 or IRA, we'll get into a little bit more detail. how organizations choose other benefits, and basically to match employees' wants and needs. For the younger Generation Y or millennials, what they're looking for, they want more time. They want more time. So normally, most one of the benefits you'll look at is that when I started off, I had to work for a full year before I even had 7 days vacation. Now, because the employees want that vacation, they're going to work for me for a whole year. After 3 months, they want at least 2 days off or 2 days vacation. So vacation is a contributor. But a lot of companies looking at vacations and sick time, paid off leave if you're not feeling well or sick at the organization. So how do I compensate that and still maintain a cost control structure, but benefits that makes me competitive with other businesses that my employee may leave after I train them or do and go someplace. So I want to sustain them that they stay in here. Okay, so I'm trying to find the different types of benefits. A lot of companies, what they do, they take the sick time and they take your vacation. They call it like PPO, personal paid time off. Okay, and communicating benefits to employee. This is the hardest, well, it's not the hardest. Employees should know what their benefits are. If they don't know what their benefits, they're looking for somebody else. Hey, if I'm going to leave my organization to another organization, they may not have the same benefits I'm offering. So benefits are usually about 30% of the overall pay package. I pay them a good wages, and this is a plus 30%. So it's a cost to me. So I want to make sure I maintain the right benefits to keep the employees, but that I also I don't give away the ship. I'm still running a business, and regulation affecting design. Okay, and this one I think I just put on here. Okay, so that takes care of the overview. Now, role of employee benefits. Certain benefit contributing to attracting, retaining, motivating employees come to benefits impose significant cost. Like in a medical cost or dental cost. How much do I contribute as an employee, and how much does the company contribute? Okay, now you have a different variety. So I'm looking at variety. Benefits, tailored compensation to employees. And we'll talk about a little bit what they call the cafeteria benefits. Not that you have free lunch. And some places do have lunch provided on site. And even though the food is good, and the cafeteria or the servicer provider that provides that may not be making that break-even point, the company subsidizes that. The cafeteria. And the reason they do that for the winter months or for other months is that the employee does not leave the facilities. They have that there, and it's a benefit, so they don't have to go, and they get a good meal at an affordable cost, and still able to network within within other employees instead of just going out and coming back. Okay. Now, the employee expected benefits will help to maintain economic security. Benefit package more complex than pay structures, making them harder for employees to understand and appreciate. So that's why it's important for HR to know. And then regulations. Legally required benefits, we're going to talk about. Tax laws can make benefits favorable and required. Some benefits, if I was in sales or marketing, and one of the benefits would be that they would provide a company car to me. That's a good benefit for me. But that benefit is taxed as income because I have to drive to work and have to drive back. The portion that's not taxed is a portion I use for a business activity. The other portions coming to and for, it's a benefit because I would have had to have a car to pay for my own gas, I had to pay for my own insurance for the car. But since I'm using a vehicle supplied by the organization, it's like added income. That and a lot of companies want to supply that is to get the because it's a benefit, but it also it has a company logo on the car or on the vehicle that you're utilizing, and that gives me advertising exposure. So that's one of the benefits. Social Security and Social Security, flat tax on employees and employers. If I'm looking at federal old age, survivor's disability, health insurance, combines old age. Basically, what the Social Security did was take the federal old age policy they had, disability insurance, hospital insurance, medical Part A, and supplement medical insurance Part B. All that is included into the Social Security. Employers and employees. share the cost of Social Security. They pay so much, and I pay so much through payroll tax. Paid on the first, paid a tax on the first 7.6% on the first 100,000. 6.2 earnings goes to when I looked over here OSHA again. Remember federal old age, survivors disability, and health insurance, and 1.45% earning goes to Medicare Part A. Above the 106,000 dollars, only 1.45% goes to the Medicare that is assessed. I know it sounds hard. I'm just talking real quickly. You already have the supplement. You already have the material reading that takes the formulas and breaks it down step by step. In the short 20-minute overview, you'll have to do some reading and looking what I given you. I'm just giving you an idea and overview, so when you're dealing with Social Security, you already know the whole picture, and then we go into more detail in different video recording or in my lectures or workshops. Unemployment insurance, like it or not, that's another tax. Unemployment payroll tax on employers, not employees. Depends on state regulations, experience rating, federal mandated program administered by the states. Why? Excuse me. Minimizing the hardships of unemployment. It focuses on payments to unemployed workers, helping in finding new jobs, incentives to stabilize employment. Now, the funding comes from the federal, states, taxes on employers, me. Now, a state's imposed depends on employers' experience rating, number of employees a company has laid off in the past, and costs of providing them with unemployment benefit. When I'm looking like this, unemployment, if I lay you off, or if for some reason you leave the organization, or there's different rules and regulations. If you quit, you basically can't collect unemployment, but HR says after a certain period, you could petition back and say it was hardship or something else that I wasn't thinking straight or whatever, and you may be able to get some unemployment compensation, only if I, the employer, does not fight it. Just because you're laid off does not mean that I will give you unemployment. A lot of companies do that because for the social responsibility aspect. But employers are, the trends going, employers are now, people laid off or downsizing or right sizing, and I give you a severance package, and because that severance package there's no more unemployment, are fighting that. So if you petition and say I want the unemployment, and then I come in and says no, you have to go through a hearing. You as an employee, H has to inform the employee that the employee has certain rights by the unemployment insurance tax. That's on me. They have certain rights. So if I say no, they could go through a hearing, to a petition. And the bottom line is, what are my policies? What are my why I should not give this employee unemployment? You know, if I fired him for theft, there's no way I'm going to give him unemployment. Hey, you already took it from me. You know, I'm going to fight it. And some employer, because what happens when you look at this funding, when we look at this tax, depends on the employer's experience rating, number of employees. When I say experience rating, it's like an insurance. How many employees have I laid off? Did I lay them off for any, so this reason, just to get rid of them? I hire them, get rid of them, hire them, get rid of them. That's not fair to the employee. So if I have a higher turnaround or a higher layoff because my work is cyclical, I may be paying a higher unemployment insurance tax rate me as an employer. So that's why they're fighting it, to keep that number down. Okay, so what does HR has? Planning can minimize layoffs, keep their experience ratings favorable. Okay, to receive benefits, workers must meet 4 conditions: demonstrated they have been employed, are available for work, are actively seeking work. That means, and now actively seeking, I went, I post on monster.com, electronic version for actively seeking. It should be unemployment. You have to show them from a newspaper clipping that you actually tried to make the make appointments and everything else. So it's kind of general. Then the next one is for were not discharged for cause. It means cause for violence, cause for theft, or for whatever cause. Did not quit voluntarily. I quit. I hate this job. I quit. I walk out, and I take it for your word. And you come back. I didn't really mean it. I was just emotional. You got me so upset. It didn't make a difference. You quit, and I could fight that. Say no. He left voluntarily. Now the employee could say, I left because he threatened me and I felt my security, and they'll go through the hearing process. Okay? Not out of work because of labor disputes. So if I'm at a union, I can't go collect unemployment because I want you to work, but you just don't like the wages that I am supplying you. And this should be conveyed to the workers through the HR department. Employers' compensation insurance, state-run programs, coverage of state requirements that provide benefit to workers who suffer work-related injuries or illnesses, or to the survivors, premiums depending on experience rating. Again, how many people were hurt on my job? It's just like how many times I had a car accident. I'm just using that as an analogy. And the more car accidents I had, the higher my rates are. There's more my workman's compensation insurance I have to pay for that. Major categories: disability income, medical care, debt benefits, and rehabilitation benefits. Benefits, amount of benefits, income varies from state to state. Generally, 2/3 of the worker's earnings before the disability benefits are tax-free. So somebody who is on workman's comp, they may be getting a higher pay, bottom pay, because they're not taxed. And so what brings them back to work, because they may take the benefits to the extremes, okay? Cost, kind of occupations involved, state where the company is located, employer's experience rating, and an unfavorable rating lead to higher insurance tax. Now, one of the benefits, and one thing that you have to look about workman's comp, when workman's comp looks at it this way: if I provide the safety tools and I provide everything else, and you as an employee, because you did not believe in the safety or anything else, and you're an idiot, for lack of better words, or a risk taker, and you get hurt, I still have to pay the workman's comp because you got hurt while you're in my employment. But because of the workman's comp compensation, depends on most of the states. Majority of states are fairly close. You cannot sue me because it was your fault, and I can say, hey, I gave him the safety equipment, he didn't wear the safety equipment, or she didn't wear it, and she got hurt. Why should I, as a employer, pay for this? No different than car insurance. You didn't fix your brakes and you got in a car accident. You can't. The insurance company can't say, "Hey, he was an idiot. He should have had his brakes fixed. I'm not paying for it because he or she didn't do any maintenance on their vehicle." I still had to pay out. That's why you're paying the insurance, and the same for here for workman's comp. But it's a two-edged sword. There's a certain set amount. If I lose an eye, if I break an arm in a hand, any kind of breakage is never back to 100% because it still has a breakage. It's a factor, even though it heals. So I make it 90%. And how much is an arm worth? Is a leg worth more? Is an eye worth more? And that's all part of the workman's compensation, how much the payout is. Okay. Now health care. If I look at when the healthcare provision passed through 2000, and they're talking about what do you call it, Obamacare or Affordable Care Act. And the reason I haven't get into this too much in here, there'll be a whole section. If you look at a lot of unions or the site, they have a whole thing about the Obamacare. If I look at the HR site that we use for information, it gives us current if you are HR managers, the HRM management system site. They go into that. The affordable. I'm trying to quit using Obamacare because it's basically everyone voted in. Even though it might have been one side or the other, it was voted in legislatively. So I'm not going to, even though that was his signature, but it's the Affordable Health Care Act. It's constantly changing. It's not changing. It's adjusting. It's going through its first year. It's developing as we understand it. It's developing as more people are going into the exchanges. So there's no way you're going to get it in 20 minutes. It's a complex system. It will eventually work its way out where people understand it, especially from employers. The cost that's up for grabs. Could I have my own doctor? Do I have to go to exchange? Do I keep it? How many employees? So all that is still in a transition change, for lack of better words. Okay, let's go into the medical family medical leave. Now, if I look at the federal family medical leave, benefits required by law, organization, everything is to 50 is the big key. If I'm an employee under 50 years old, I don't fall into the federal regulation. The states may have it. You as a company may have this benefit because most of your workers are women. And I'll just say majority. You know what I mean? And you want to maintain them and help them out because you're a social responsible organization, and you want those employees to come back after they have their babies or offspring. And it's not only for the woman; it's also for the I as a woman cannot, I as a man cannot have babies. My wife could, or my partner could, but what happens is she has the baby. But she will go back to work, and I am working for someone else. I don't have the baby, but I want to spend time. Which income, because if I look at families, who makes more money, and it's not necessarily the man or in a relationship that may be making more money. It could be the woman makes more money, so she goes back, and I basically, as a male, will maintain and keep the feed the baby, take care of the baby for the first few times. Okay, so let me just get rid of this. All right, so we're doing pretty good on that. Okay, now the next one we have now is what does the employee get? Employee gets up to 12 weeks unpaid leave. If it's over 50, it's mandated. You could have less if you're under that, and you have your own family medical leave provision as an employee, as employer. For children, adoption, or serious illnesses, employers must also guarantee the same or comparable job when they return to work. So if the employee gets to 12 weeks, they come back. No problem. They have the job is waiting for them. And 12 weeks is up to 12 weeks. It's 3 months. You may upgrade to something else from the company. They have it. What happens is if a lot of there's a law, there's rules that after 12 weeks I can still stay home for an extended time. I think I have that in here. Sign into law, expand the coverage for for time off to care for an injured family member returning home from military. Those are the amendments. But what I could I could want to stay longer. Other than the 12 weeks is what when I look at 12 weeks is usually a paid time off in that time, so I have to pay them for the 12 weeks. But the individual wants up to 6 months. So the first 12 weeks I paid, the other 6 months by law they could have it, but I don't pay it. But I have to guarantee them a job when they come back. Now the first 12 weeks they're guaranteed at the job where they're at in the same location. If they extend it longer than the 12 weeks without pay, they're still guaranteed employment at that position. But when they come back, if I'm a large company, it doesn't necessarily mean at the same location. So if I was closer to home, in the 12 weeks I'm paid, I come back, I'm back at the home, the same job. If I took extended over to the 6 month period, I still have guaranteed a job. When I come back, it does not necessarily have to be at that location. Look at it from an employer's perspective. I cannot leave a position open for 6 months and function as a company or as a department. So I have to find some replacement to fill in that. Okay, and the reading comes pretty good. Okay, so now Pregnancy Discrimination Act is temporarily unavailable to perform her job due to pregnancy. Must treat the same way as any disability. When you're first pregnant, and I've had, I'm not pregnant, but my wife had, I've got several kids, so you're still kind of active, you can still do a lot of things. When you start getting closer to like the 7 to 8 months. You can't stand on your feet that much long. You some pregnancies are harder or easier than other individuals. So if I'm a cashier register, I can't be standing. I have to make some accommodation. If I'm working in an area that is like a construction, I can't be on the site. It's a safety issue. So I have to, not only for me as an employer, but also for the employee. So I have to look at it for that time period until she has the baby. I have to basically make accommodation for that. When modify the task, disability leave, or alternative assignment, or leave without pay. Those are all depending on your policies that you are going to that you have to still meet the federal guidelines and the requirements. Optional benefit programs. If I look at list of paid leave, examples could be vacation, sick leave, personal days off, floating holidays, jury duty. Usually a lot of companies, you're paid by the jury duty. By law, I cannot tell you that you cannot go to jury duty because that is your civic right as a citizen in the United States, and you're called for jury duty. You should be proud that you're called to help. But so you get paid to $30 or whatever it is per day, for travel, whatever. That's still $30, and I'm making, let's say if I'm making $70 or $50 or $20 an hour, that does not compensate for a whole day's loss. So a lot of employers will say, I believe to the jury duty, I will offset what you're paid for as a juror for that amount, but you have to give me that check that the juror gets, because I'm paying you your full pay. So what you get from the state or the federal, it depends on what jury duty you've been selected on. You reimburse me that amount, and because I'm paying you full amount, so you haven't lost any pay. Funerals. A lot of people, if you're going funerals, and you look at funerals, and it's usually through what your policy says for close family, mother, father, wife, kids, and then what happens because of the marriage or different kind of living arrangements. I may have, when I look at it, well, your mom died last time, and I'm being insensitive, or your dad died last time, but that individual, because their parents were divorced and they brought in a step parent, they may have 2 or 3 different parents legally by law, and I should be able to compensate that. All right, unless your policy stays so different. Your holidays, military duties, and time to vote. And personal days off is paid time off. A lot of companies don't have vacation and sick. They just combine it together. Here's how many days I give you. I give you PTO days. I don't care if you use them for vacation or you use them for sick time. It's up to you. If you don't have any, because I'm not paying you any sick time, any sick pay, so I just combine them. And you got 2 weeks of vacation plus I add 3 days or 4 days what I used to have for paid time off for medical issues. I just combine them together, and now you have 16 days. Use them how you want them. Save a couple for sick times, but I'm not paying you directly. You're the one in control. Personal sick days, vacation for employees to use as needed. And a lot of organizations are going that way. Group insurance overview. If I look at overview on group, typically lower than individual policies, because by the numbers, I know all of them are not going to get sick, so they pay in, so it reduces my costs, and it gives me a better. I get a better rate because I got more individuals paying into the group insurance. Insurance benefits are not subject to income tax. Take the benefit over a raise. Better dollars off. Okay, medical. Again, when I look at medical, this whole issue, COBRA and everything else, and COBRA is basically a mental health parity act came in there. Additional coverage. I don't have to have it for medical. The Affordable Care Act coming in there. What am I covering? Hospital, surgical visits to physician. A lot of companies are opting out of this because it's becoming, because medical costs are going up. Even though the Affordable Care Act is supposed to bring it down, it may go in a long time. There's still a transition period with that. But other than the Affordable Care Act, medical, whatever, I give dental, I give vision, I give birthing centers, prescription drug programs, and then you have the Mental Health Parity Act, which I have to cover, and then COBRA. COBRA, basically what happens, I laid off individual, consolidated, I'll bring this Budget Reconciliation Act, and COBRA says when I'm laid off by the federal law, requires employees to permit employees that I laid off or the dependents extend their health insurance coverage at group rates, my group rates, up to 36 months for qualifying event, layoff, reduction hours, employees' death. So that's the federal law requires. I have to abide them. Remember, some of these federal laws does additional coverage. It doesn't say I have to have this. I do that as an extra benefit. I have more women working for me, or I have more baby boomers. I need more prescription drugs, whatever. It's a benefit for employees to stay with my organization that other companies may not be offering. Especially, and they do it especially like in IT or certain jobs that there's a high demand for the individual, and engineering or some kind of research organizations that I need that skill set. So I add more benefits that so they don't leave me and go to my competitors. Okay, the biggest thing is how to control cost. You have managed care, health maintenance, PPO, customer-driven health plans, employment wellness plans. All this is under review when I look at the medical because of the Affordable Care Act that was passed in the last few years. Okay, term life is basically basic insurance, just like a car insurance. I don't get anything out of my car insurance unless I total a car or I get in an accident. So I'm just paying as pure coverage. During the term of the policy, beneficiaries receive a death benefit. So if I would rather offer term life for all my employees. I don't get anything back. It's not like they get anything out. It just covers them if they get hurt to help compensate them. Even though the workman's comp pays a certain amount, but this is just an added bonus because I'm the breadwinner earner, or my wife is a bread earner. If one of the main individuals that contribute to the family dies, I get a cash settlement right up in front. Usually twice the employee's yearly pay. Includes accidental death. That means I always tell them I used to work for ComEd. When I used to work in the construction site, if anything would happen to me at work, it's triple. So if I would, that's always just bring me back to work. I'm just kidding. All right. So term life. Long-term care, and again, all this basically, long-term care is pays a certain percentage of disabled employee's salary after I get. And a lot of times in construction or disability, if I'm looking at even this one on disability, I pay a short-term. I have construction individuals. If he or she gets hurt on a site, it's a safety to them. They can't work on the site. They got a crutch, or their arm is no longer, it's in a cast. So I'll pay their wages as a benefit to. So when they come back, they basically could still maintain their regular living and their cost of living and their quality of life at home, pay their mortgage and everything else. Some companies don't offer that, or some companies have a plan that they'll pay 50-50. And if they don't, if you look, a lot of construction workers carry that insurance on their own. So if they get hurt on the job, other than workman's comp, they still have some additional income coming in. So, if my operation is construction, and I have good workers, even though I'm pulling them from the union hall, I may offer that as a benefit, strictly just to maintain that workforce for the quality of work that I'm trying to find out, trying to keep. Okay, so we're done on that one. And so I have all that group insurance, and then we talk about retirement plans. 401s. We had that family-friendly benefits, family leave, child care benefits, college savings benefits, elder care. Those are all additional, not required. Other quality life benefits, and these are kind of nice. Remember, all this is to keep employees from leaving my organization other than the pay. So this is an additional cost. When the companies are struggling because of economic downturn, some of these benefits, they're not guaranteed. I could take them away. I give them to you. The cafeteria is no longer a benefit. On-site health care services. If I'm a hospital, they have on-site health care service provided at no cost to individual. A lot of colleges have nurses. They'll do, they have mental health facilities, not full-blown, but they basically try to offset the costs. So if someone gets hurt at school, they may give you some aspirins, may give you some medics, and may be able to help you out before you have to seek long-term provisions. Okay, moving and relocation expenses, employee discounts on products that you serve. They gotta be careful. Employee discounts on product. All of a sudden, you say it's only for your use or your immediate family. Hey, I got 50 people. My social network is my immediate family. I'm selling all this stuff because I'm getting a discount cost on eBay. That's so you have policy saying you only could buy one or two, and the immediate family. You got to give me the name of the immediate family, so I know your immediate family are your wife, your husband, your kids. So you can only buy three of these or four of these because your immediate, or if you're single, your immediate family is your mother or father. So you only have like you could buy three of these items. So policies, remember HR from HR perspective, be very careful of your policies. You want to retain them, but you're going to have some employees that are going to take advantage of the benefits, and you want to make sure that your policies will address those employees also that will take advantage. But overall, most of your employees will not take an advantage of the policies. It's a benefit they appreciate, and they'll you hire ethical employees, but you're going to get one or two that's out there, and your policy should be able to address that. On-site fitnesses, some people have the health. You're working, and basically during your lunch you have a treadmill, you have a swimming pool. If your facility can't support that. On-site dry cleaning service, you could drop it off. Dues for professional organization, off-site company recreations, and pet service. Pets, like it or not, if you look at in the U.S., pets are sometimes people leave money to the pets. It's a companion, and pets are dead individuals, for lack of better words, and individuals, a family. So worried about what's going to happen to my pets, and I have a lot of individuals that have pets. I may have like a pet daycare at my facility. I'm not saying, remember, it's a benefit. Depending, your whole thing is to keep employees with your organization, to good employees. Remember, it's a cost to maintain this, but it's also a good recruitment tool to get people coming in. What do I offer other than that? Okay. Now, legal requirements for employee benefits. Let's talk about that. Benefits required by law, tax treatment of benefits. Benefits. Some benefits that's not required by law, like Social Security. Certain benefits by the family leave are benefits that are not taxed. Other benefits like the dental or other benefits that I provide, like the car or the pet daycare, those are all benefits that are taxed. Still lower than when I had to drop off my pet, or if I have a child care on site, because I can always visit them, so I'm not worried. So I'm working, but if anything happens, I'm here on site. I can always check in on lunchtime, and so it doesn't make me feel that I don't see my kids as much as I would like to, because I'm working 24/7, not 24/7. Let's say I'm working a little more overtime. They're there, and I could be there with them. Okay, so but those are tax, anti-discrimination laws, and accounting practices. Remember, the accountants are for any HR, which benefits are taxed, which benefits are not, and what is service. These has to be conveyed to the employee so he or she knows that this is not a benefit required by law, but it's a benefit that I give you because I want you to stay and I appreciate you, and that's why you are working for my organization. And because it's a higher percentage than the 30% of, so I look at it as my labor costs, what I'm paying them, and this is an additional 30% equivalent to your pay. So if I'm making $17, in reality, with all the benefits, I may be making $35. And I'm taxing some of them are not. And you have to convey that to the employees, because a lot of employees are just looking at the pay. So I may not be paying them as much, but I'm giving all these other benefits which they had to pay out of their own pockets, but I'm getting a discount rate because I'm a larger organization. So they say, when I'm looking at this, I'm comparing apples with apples. Here's my pay, here's my benefits, and my benefits cost so much. They talked about cafeteria-style benefits, and that's usually for those optional benefit programs. So I'm paying for dental, this, and it's worth, let's say, my whole package is worth $2,000 to the employee. I don't need all those benefits, I'm single. Or I don't want all those benefits. I just give me the $2,000, or my wife has, or my partner has, better health insurance, and I'm underneath their program, but they don't have a dental insurance. So by the cafeteria style benefits, what happens, I could say, I want the health, I want the vision, I want the pet care, or I want the child care, but I don't want the other ones. And I could select. It's almost like, as I say, cafeteria. You go in there like a big smorgasbord. I pick this. I like this. I get this. It's a flat fee. I have $2,000. You use it. If you don't use it, if you use so much and you still have $50 left, then we'll pay that $50 cash. All right. So that's basically employee health benefits, a series that I'm going to be covering, and this is also for small businesses, for large businesses, or for medium-sized businesses. And HR, whether I carry two hats or whether I'm an HR department, I have to be able to understand these. I have to be able to convey this information to my employees when they are hired at the beginning, or if there's any changes because I'm eliminating one benefit or I'm adding another benefit, so they actually know the ramification, why I'm doing it, what's the cost associated to that benefit if I'd had to buy it on the market outside. Because when you look at benefits, remember, all benefits, child care, if I'm a single person, I don't have any kids, I don't care about the child care. I'm looking more for benefits, the exercising. Give me something off-site. Give me a membership to a health club, or give me some other kind of a benefit that will pertain to me. So companies have to look at benefits. They have an array of benefits, and looking at the predominance of their employee workforce, which benefits will retain and make sense. If my employees start changing, more of a younger employee, retirement, it may not be an issue to them. They don't want any kind of retirement. They say, I'm only going to be in the organization for 5-10 years. I'm going to move on. I would rather have a 401. Whole life insurance. Some like whole life insurance. Some just want the basic term insurance. How much am I paying as an employee, and how much is the employer compensating or putting in their fair share? But you're looking at a lot of companies, because the health benefits are going up. The cost for health benefits, their contribution part that they pay, let's say they may be paying 60% and you pay 40%, they may say, hey, that's a little bit too much. I'll pay 50% and you pay 50%. And that should be conveyed wide, and it should be a transition period. And some employees say, I'm going to leave the organization. Other companies just dropping all those benefits, say, hey, you want it, you pay on your own, or we just give you a flat fee as benefits and you buy your insurance where you want. And I think Walmart may have done that with their part-time employees, because their affordable health care is in there. So they basically had that benefits. It was worth so much. We're just going to give you so much dollars on your paycheck as insurance benefits for medical, and you go into the exchange and purchase yourself. So from an healthcare perspective, from an HR perspective, it's interesting. It's challenging, but it's a new way of looking at it. You're always trying to find all the information. From a small business manager, you're looking at, what am I doing? Should I even be in the benefits program? I'm basically supplying a service, and I'm hiring you for you to come in, and I'm paying you a fee to take care of that. I'm not worried about the benefits because I'm pulling from the local union. Now the local union, because I'm a union membership, like the electrical union or a plumbers union, and it's not my organization. It's basically I get the membership from the union hall, but the union hall wants to be retained. So you're paying union dues, and they may have those benefits. So I don't have to mirror them, but I may have other benefits that the union may not be supplying, just to make sure I keep those members or that workforce staying with my organization, not going to my competitors. Again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and this is Employees Benefits from an HR perspective, from a managerial perspective, or small business perspective, that you should be aware of this. And just, if you could afford it, which benefits are required by law that I have to provide, depending on the size of the organization, and which benefits I add on just to add on, is because I want to maintain a certain workforce, and I don't want to leave to my competitors. And I'll see you in the next section. Thank you.